Haitian migrants, lured here with the promise of good jobs in Colorado, say they were abused.
I came to work. I wasn't expecting to find such bad living conditions.
RTD won't say if its high-paid police chief quit or was fired. Well, we found out which today, and it's time we talk about the way RTD treats the public. A judge takes out one of the two men claiming to be the rightful chairman of the Colorado Republican Party. Our long regional nightmare is over. The Nuggets and Avs are coming back to over-the-air free TV. And there's a big fishing tournament on the South Platte in Denver just as soon as they can, get some fish in there.
Cutthroats returning to the Denver South Platte for the first time in 200 years.
It's cutthroat out there, but everything's under control tonight on Next. A TikTok video brought Haitian migrants to Greeley. They wanted jobs in one of America's largest meatpacking plants. A labor union says what they got here was abused. Here's Mark Salinger.
The JBS meatpacking plant in Greeley promised a path to a better life in America. For the immigrants who came here from all over the world to work, many say it became a nightmare. This is Chelly Moyse. He's a representative for the United Food and Commercial Workers Local 7 Union. He's translating from Haitian Creole to English, sharing the stories of two JBS employees sitting behind him who fear they'll be fired if we show their faces or share their names.
I saw the video on TikTok and I got in contact with Remy, and this is why I was able to come here.
The men from Haiti ended up in Greeley after seeing this TikTok video posted by a man named Mackinson Remy. Remy never officially worked for JBS, but the union alleges he was often at the plant and JBS knew exactly what he was doing. He used social media to recruit hundreds of workers from Haiti to work there. He charged them hundreds of dollars each, stashing them in overcrowded motel rooms and homes when they arrived in Colorado.
It was a house with 5 bedrooms with around 40 people inside of the house. It was only 1 kitchen and 2 bathrooms for 40 people.
The men say the working conditions inside the plant are dangerous, pushing them to process meat at unsafe speeds and show up to the factory even while they're sick.
My biggest concern right now is sometime when I'm working and I'm not feeling good and I asked to go home and they don't let me go home.
The union says these men and many others came to Greeley legally with nothing but the promise of a job and a better life. They're sharing their story with the hope that they'll be treated the way they should be.
We're supposed to get a better living condition, us or the cows that we are killing.
OSHA is now investigating workplace safety and health conditions at JBS in Greeley. The meatpacking company also fired its HR director at the plant, along with another HR official after these allegations surfaced. JBS says it's cooperating with all investigations and finds any allegations of poor living conditions, quote, unacceptable and upsetting.
What happened to this unofficial recruiter guy?
Yeah, so he was never really a JBS employee, but still JBS took the step of banning him from any of their plants after these allegations surfaced. The union maintains that JBS knew exactly what was going on. JBS got workers, the recruiter got money, they mutually benefited.
Wow. All right, just the start of this. Mark Salinger, thank you. RTD tried to keep the firing of its police chief a secret from you, refusing to tell the public why Chief Joel Fitzgerald left after a long and unexplained leave. A public database of law enforcement officers now shows Fitzgerald got fired. RTD has been about as transparent as mud since Fitzgerald went on leave in early July. But now the state database tracking law enforcement officers says he was terminated for cause. Doesn't explain why. And RTD again today rejected our open records request for the chief's termination letter. Fitzgerald joined RTD in 2022. He was paid more than the police chiefs of Colorado's 3 largest departments. Fitzgerald was fired from the Fort Worth Police Department in 2019 and just won a $5.2 million whistleblower settlement from that city. The Denver metro area deserves a world-class transit system. Unfortunately, we have RTD. A key to any transportation agency is reliability. And RTD is reliably contemptuous of the public that it is supposed to serve. The latest insult to your intelligence is RTD's refusal to say whether its highly paid police chief was fired or if he quit. The man who was paid more to oversee 21 sworn officers than Denver's police chief was paid to oversee 1,400. The man who went on a mysterious leave months ago that RTD wouldn't explain either. State law enforcement database now shows he was fired. RTD continues to reject our open records requests to show you the termination letter and learn the cause of all this. And without knowing more, it's hard to draw conclusions about the police chief, right? It's easier to assess the state of RTD's leadership. It's off the rails. This all comes at a crucial time as RTD has a ballot issue before voters in November. They're asking for more tax revenue in the future. One hand out asking you for money, the other hand giving you the middle finger. The Colorado Republican Party's game of musical chairs has ended, and Chairman Dave Williams keeps his seat. The other guy claiming to be chair is out. A judge in El Paso County ruled there were not enough votes to remove Williams over allegations of corruption, bigotry, and just general incompetence. The judge's decision pauses months of GOP infighting, bringing us to the season finale of Marshall Zellinger's series, As the Colorado GOP Turns.
Let's see who the real Colorado Republican Party chairman is. Zoinks! It's Dave Williams. In the lawsuit between the Colorado GOP and Dave Williams, Williams appears to have won. An El Paso County judge has ruled that last month's vote to remove Williams as party chair did not meet the vote threshold needed to remove Williams as party chair. That means Williams remains head of the Colorado GOP, and the subsequent vote electing Eli Bremer as chair is null and void. This saga began in June when Williams sent out an anti-gay rhetoric email ahead of Pride Month attacking, quote, godless groomers, and then posted on social media to burn all the pride flags. Todd Watkins, the vice chair of the El Paso County Republicans, said he collected 112 signatures of party leaders to hold a meeting to try to remove Williams as chair. That triggered a timeline for a meeting to be held. That famous meeting under a bridge in far southwest Colorado. Then Watkins called his own meeting, but before he could call a vote to remove Williams, Williams got a judge to grant a temporary restraining order preventing that vote from happening. Days later, that judge determined he issued that restraining order prematurely. On August 24th, Watkins finally held a meeting in which a vote was held removing Williams as chair. That vote was just invalidated. The Colorado GOP bylaws say that 3/5, 60% of the entire Central Committee membership must vote for removal. At last month's meeting, those in attendance determined that the threshold was 3/5 of those in attendance. An El Paso County judge just determined no, because less than 3/5 of the entire Central Committee membership voted to remove Williams from office, the vote was ineffective. Williams is chair, Bremer is not, and this has been As the Colorado GOP Turns.
There is supposed to be a trial next month between the two factions, Williams and Bremer. That's most certainly off given this news, unless the GOP wants to continue fighting itself instead of trying to get candidates elected. If a truce is called, Kyle, it will be until March, when the next election takes place for chair of the Colorado GOP.
So let's zoom out, big picture, right? As I've said here before, Dave Williams was clearly content to burn the Colorado Republican Party to the ground so long as he could be king of the ashes, and he pretty well has done that at this point. They don't have money, they don't have influence, they don't have organization. So what's next for the Ash King?
I know it's interesting to note that when Eli Bremer thought he took over as chair, that we heard from candidates running for Congress that said, hey, I finally heard from the Colorado GOP for the first time in forever as I continue to run for office. I don't know if that suddenly changes with Williams in charge. Will these candidates still get support or not? We'll find out in November what the final toll of the ashes really are.
I've heard Colorado Democrats, a number of them, say this, and it seems more true every time you hear it. There could not have been a better Republican chairman if you're a Colorado Democrat than Dave Williams. Marshall, thank you. Donald Trump continues to spin ever wilder tales about what is happening in Aurora, Colorado, now saying that the Venezuelan gang there has weapons beyond even what the U.S. military has, which seems unlikely because the U.S. military has nukes. But we checked with Aurora police and a gun shop owner, and they say that the rifle seen in a viral video that supposedly shows the gang members is a pretty standard weapon.
We should have closed the border years ago, and we wouldn't have hostile takeovers of Springfield, Ohio, Aurora, Colorado, where they're actually going in with massive machine gun type equipment. They're going in with guns that are beyond even military scope, and they're taking over apartment buildings.
Again, there's no evidence that what he's saying about weapons is true. Trump made that claim at a rally in North Carolina earlier this week. A few days earlier, Aurora police had discussed the video that has been widely circulated by conservative media outlets. It shows men with guns inside an apartment in Aurora on Dallas Street. APD says that they have identified the men in the video, but they have not connected them to any criminal organization. The men in the video have handguns. One has a scoped rifle. Aurora police told us today they don't have any reports or information to suggest anybody's using machine guns or above military-grade weapons to take over properties. Blackouts for championship caliber teams. It's just not right, you know? For years, Nuggets and Avs fans have pleaded for an easier way to watch their teams as Kroenke Sports and Comcast fought over a deal. Well, good news is Nuggets and Avs are coming to 9 News. Deal announced today means 20 Avs games and 20 Nuggets games next season will air on Channel 20, with 5 of each simulcast on 9 News. It's a chance for fans to watch some pretty good teams free and over the air. Should mention that we, like the journalists in the newsroom, are not involved in these deals. News and business are separate for ethical reasons. I will say this. For years, we have talked more generally about how when you see an issue or a problem in the community, you don't just watch, you get in there and you try to do something about it. Well, the people that we work for decided to do something about the Avs and Nuggets blackout. They didn't just watch, they worked out a deal. So now we can just watch. So Colorado's about to take Kroger to court. The lawsuit to block a massive multi-billion-dollar merger heads to trial. Anglers will soon be looking for fresh fish in a place you might not expect, because stocking trout in the city takes a team. Next week, Colorado's Democratic Attorney General Phil Weiser heads to court to try and stop the Kroger-Albertsons merger. The trial that could block that merger deal begins Monday. The AG says the trial will focus on what the merger will mean for shoppers. He's previously outlined his concerns that a merger would limit competition, drive up prices, be bad for shoppers, suppliers, and workers. The AG says that he has some Colorado-based examples. He wants each company to pay $1 million for alleged collusion between the two during a strike, when Weiser says King Soopers asked Safeway not to hire its workers. Weiser and other attorneys general are trying to block that $35 billion deal. The Federal Trade Commission has its own lawsuit to stop the merger. Bringing meteorologist Kathy Sabin for a look ahead.
A record high temperature today, Kyle, and it is not summer, it is fall when temperatures are typically in the mid-70s. So abundant sunshine today, good visibility, nice day of travel into the high country, but 93 degrees is just a little weird for this time of year, and not everybody is loving it. Breaks the old record of 90 set back in 2010. Temperatures have cooled back a little bit and will cool even further with the arrival of a dry front overnight. So the winds are picking up a bit out of the north and northwest, and that will signal the arrival of the front overnight. It's a weak front. It won't bring the beneficial rain that we need, and really the chance for rain is days away. This is the leading edge of what will be that cool down, that dry front coming in. So all eyes on the Gulf of Mexico, of course, with dangerous Hurricane Helene, now a Category 4 storm, less than 200 miles off the coast of Tampa, taking aim at Tallahassee and the Big Bend area with catastrophic flooding, 6 to 12 inches of rain, a storm surge 10 to 20 feet. It is moving northeast at 23 with winds to 130 miles per hour. And between Georgia and the Carolinas, the flood threat is growing. What could be a historic flood situation with a lot of those big, beautiful trees in the south coming down. Around here, we've got a few high clouds coming in, a cooler temperature trend, which is great. 83 tomorrow, 10 degrees cooler than today. Upper 80s Saturday. We could see 90 and another record on Sunday ahead of another front and the chance for another record next Wednesday. So while it feels like summer, October's just a few days away. Maybe a new month, a new pattern change.
We have screwed this river up over the years so much that it no longer sustains a trout fishery.
So before folks can fish on the South Platte in Denver, somebody's got to put the fish in there. Restocking a river in need of serious help. Next. There are lots of beautiful solitary spots to fish along the South Platte River, but tomorrow, anglers will abandon all those and instead cast their lines on a troubled stretch through downtown Denver. Now, normally they wouldn't catch anything except odd glances, but the river's been stocked up.
Grab each fish. Words of wisdom before we start. Okay, we're going to be putting fish in 7 places along the river. Our goal is to get them in the water in less than 30 seconds. So somebody here has to count. Okay, ready to go. It's all rainbows here, so these are big ones and they're in the net. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're at the Denver South Platte in the River Mile section, and we're stocking about 3,000 rainbow and 200 Snake River cutthroat trout. Okay, that's it here.
Doing this a few days ahead of the actual tournament so that we can hopefully have a good showing, reintroduce fishing back to the Platte River and get people down to activate the river.
We have screwed this river up over the years so much that it no longer sustains a trout fishery.
You know, this is one of several events or several organizations that come in and do big cleanup all the way down the whole reach of the river, getting rid of all the trash, all the debris. We're stocking it with fish, trying to reintroduce, you know, kind of a natural habitat and bring life back down to the river here.
These trout survive here, you know, for sometimes 2 or 3 years. The water is a lot better chemically than it was, you know, 10 or 20 years ago. Cutthroats returning to the Denver South Platte for the first time in 200 years.
More people that come down here are using it for fishing or recreation. They're more apt to keep it clean, keep it pretty, and bring people back down here. So,
trout are the canary in the coal mine. It is so hard for water to be of high enough quality that it will sustain trout, that if you can get the trout living in a river, you've got a good river.
That is a pretty neat project. Feedback tonight with an assist from our friends at Altitude Sports. That's next. Feedback tonight on the Avs and Nuggets coming to 9 News and Channel 20. Tweet, great. It will be the only positive thing 9 News contributes to society. You can watch Mad as long as you watch. We don't care. And here's more feedback from our new friends at Altitude Sports.
From Reddit, wow, my prayers have been answered. Just woke up, turned on 9 News, and wasn't sure why the mascots were all over the weather segment. Makes sense now. Stoked. Your prayers and mine, Reddit user, and I'm kind of for this partnership also including mascots being in the weather segment.
And nice, and can watch with my antenna. And that's what's so funny, is that now you get the antenna stuff. It's like 1979 and it looks awesome. So yes, you can watch Devin Loves USA. I love USA as well, Devin. You can watch with your antenna.
All right. They're getting the hang of that. That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. What is bad, according to Hank, who writes in, is the jacket tonight. He says, you generally dress well. That's a questionable statement, Hank. He says, today's jacket, where did you find that relic? Relic? This is one of the newest coats that I own. He says, one day when your daughter is older, she won't let you out of the house wearing that rag. Now, my kids just aren't going to acknowledge being related to me. I think that's probably best for everybody. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.